Now, obviously, with all the changes, there are landlords out there who are considering their position of their rental properties, whether it's worth carrying on, and what do they do with their properties. Doesn't help that the housing market, the actual sales market, isn't good at the moment. But you've got to consider where you are with your portfolio of properties, or however many you own. Even if it's just one, you have to give thought process as to what you're going to do regarding selling it. You've got to consider whether you're going to sell your property vacant or whether you're going to have a tenant in situ. Now, yes, there are still investors out there probably looking to buy properties, so don't think that there isn't, but you also have to consider your property and how attractive that would be to an investor. Quite often you'll look at your properties and you'll go, they've been in there forever, I don't get much rent, it's a bit lower than it should be. That's probably the easiest one, I'll let that one go. But to an investor, they're going to look at that and go, well, the rent's really low on that property, so the first thing I'm going to have to do is probably up the rent, which we could end up, they're talking about a rent freeze at the moment, so that could create all kinds of problems. But also, what do I do with that tenant now? If that tenant leaves, I've got all that renovation work to do. Or if the tenant refuses to pay the rent and we go to a rent tribunal, okay, this is not making it sound like the most attractive package for an investor. So, perhaps you as a landlord, if you're looking at a longer term plan as to what you're going to do with your properties, have to consider the stages and steps you need to go to make sure that your properties are in the best position to attract an investor. And of course, if you want to sell your property and you want to sell it vacant, you now have to give tenants 4 months notice, written notice officially, that you're planning to sell. That is the notice period that happens now. To be honest, you should be talking to your tenants and letting them know the plan, so that if they can have some control over what's going on. If you say to your tenant tomorrow, you know what, I'm probably going to give it 6 months and then I might put the property on the market, at least then they can turn around and go, okay, maybe we'll start looking now. Okay, and they've got the option to go and find somewhere. Because if you want the property vacant, you've got to work out how to manage your tenants out of the property. And it's actually much nicer for the tenant to feel they have some control over what's going on. And if they leave sooner, well, then you can put it on the market sooner. But it's nice from your tenant's point of view that you're giving them the best, fairest opportunity to move on of their own accord before the notice hits.